When you begin to understand the deeper spiritual mechanics of the twin flame connection, you quickly realize that union and separation are not relationship statuses. They are not phases, milestones, stages, or markers that indicate whether you and your twin flame are on track. They are not signs of progress or regression, and they are certainly not measurements of success or failure in a relationship. Instead, union and separation are states of consciousness, inner states of awareness that have nothing to do with physical closeness, communication, or relationship dynamics. This understanding aligns with the essence of every true spiritual teaching across time. When you start to interpret your twin flame experience through this lens, everything becomes clearer, lighter, and far less emotionally chaotic. Your mind, however, tends to resist this truth. The human mind loves labels, milestones, and linear timelines, so it naturally interprets union as being together in the physical sense and separation as being apart. But spiritually, this is not accurate at all. The twin flame connection has nothing to do with physical proximity. It is an inner shift, a deepening into consciousness itself. When the Buddha taught about illusion, Maya, he pointed directly to the way the senses and the mind create a false perception of reality. What you see, what you feel, what seems real on the outside, is not the ultimate truth. Jesus taught the same message in different words: I and my Father are one. Beneath distinct forms exists one essence, one being, one intelligence. Modern spiritual teachers have continued this message with clarity. Eckhart Tolle emphasizes presence as the only true state, reminding you that your suffering begins the moment you identify with your thoughts instead of your awareness. Rupert Spira teaches non-duality from the perspective of consciousness. You are not the person, but the presence in which the person appears. The twin flame connection sits squarely in this ancient lineage of teachings, not as a romance, not as a destiny, not as a spiritual partnership, but as a tool for awakening into non-dual consciousness. From this perspective, union is not something that happens between you and them. Union is something that happens within you. It is the state of inner alignment where you recognize your true nature as awareness rather than the ego. It is the moment when you stop chasing, stop analyzing, stop trying to force or control the connection, and simply rest in your being. Union is a clear, peaceful state where you recognize that beneath the appearance of two bodies there is only one soul, one consciousness expressing itself twice. When you rest in this understanding, there is no fear, no longing, no grasping. The connection stops feeling like something external that you must hold on to. Instead, you feel deeply grounded and stable because you recognize that union is your natural state. Union doesn't come from getting your twin flame back. Union comes from getting yourself back, your presence, your awareness, your soul. Separation, then, is not the absence of your twin flame's physical presence. It is not silence, blocked communication, or watching them move in a different direction. These are merely external circumstances, sensory experiences in the physical world. Separation is an internal state, a moment when you identify with the ego and forget who you truly are. When you collapse into mental stories about what your twin flame is doing, whether they still care, whether they'll return, or what the future holds, you shift into separation consciousness. Not because they are gone, but because your awareness is gone. Rupert Spira describes separation beautifully. Separation exists only when you overlook your true nature. Eckhart Tolle echoes this. Suffering arises when you live in thought rather than presence. These teachings are directly applicable to the twin flame journey. When you are lost in longing, fear, attachment, jealousy, or insecurity, you are not experiencing separation from your twin flame, you are experiencing separation from yourself. Because you and your twin flame are the same consciousness, when you fall out of your truth, the connection feels distorted. When you come home to your truth, the connection feels harmonious again. Everything about the twin flame experience is amplified. The emotions, the intensity, the synchronicities, the mirroring, everything feels bigger, sharper, and more significant. This magnification is not because your twin flame is doing anything to you. It happens because both bodies are carrying the same soul essence, and your soul is using the connection to point you inward. Union feels euphoric because you are aligned with your true nature. Separation feels painful because you are identified with illusion. You're not actually moving in and out of union with someone else. You're moving in and out of union with yourself. When you stop viewing the twin flame journey through the lens of relationship dynamics, you stop suffering. You no longer measure your progress through text messages, physical closeness, labels, commitment, timelines, social media behavior, and signs or synchronicities. Instead, you begin to watch your internal world with more presence and clarity. You realize that union and separation are not external conditions, they are internal states. You realize that the connection stabilizes automatically when you stabilize internally. You realize that chasing union externally only creates deeper separation internally. And you realize that your twin flame's behavior is always reflecting your current state of consciousness. It leaves you with the most liberating truth of all: union is who you already are. Separation is the illusion you are awakening from. You don't need to work to get into union. You don't need to heal endlessly. You don't need to figure anything out. You don't need to fix anything. You don't need to force or chase or strategize. You only need to return to yourself. When you rest in presence, when you let go of the mental noise, the stories, the desperation, the labels, you naturally experience union because union is your true nature. It's what you are made of. Union is the soul. Separation is the ego. And the twin flame journey is the process of remembering which one you truly belong to.